Alright, hi everyone. So this is the very beginning of the setup for this low-key dining room / kitchen lighting setup that I'm going to be testing. Filming myself right now with the 70D from Canon, and I'm just going to be using it to walk around and show you kind of what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. All I've done so far is set up a camera. This is the Sony a7S that we'll be using with a 35mm. Going to be recording to the Atomos Ninja 2 recorder onto just a normal hard drive. Alright, so here we are. There's my lovely model, Michael, my brother, and this is the scene we're working with. So we got is a dining room area here. There's an overhead light. We have a window. It's 10:30 in the morning, so we got some daylight coming in. My goal is to be able to have actors walk through this scene without having to relight every specific place where they are. And basically, if I'm going to do close-ups, have it basically be lit with very minimal adjustments. I want it to be like the lighting for the master shot is also the lighting for the close-ups and everything, just to make it simpler. Alright, so this is our scene. I'm using the Shot Designer app, which you can get for mobile devices, and if you get that, you also get a license for desktop. So I'm using this on my iMac right now to plan this out. Basically, I have a 500 watt Omni-Light here that I have angled up. It's pretty low on a stand. I have it angled up, shooting at a bounce board, which is actually flat against the ceiling. It's not angled like it looks like here. So it'll be up against the ceiling and then bounce the light down onto the table, which will hopefully give a pretty soft effect. And then the actor will walk through the scene like this. As you saw in the test, he'll walk around and have a seat, and I'm hoping that that'll give me a nice soft look from up above like I want. Let's see if it worked. So what I have right now, I know I still have a little bit of work to do on this. I got just a C-stand with a sandbag and a 40-inch grip arm. Coming out here, this is a homemade duckbill clamp. Basically it's like vice grips with a big plate on the end that allows you to grip beadboard or foam board or something like that. This is just insulation, white insulation that actually on the other side is a reflective side, like just a reflector. Other things that I've done so far, I took some black cloth. I have some Dubitine that I bought, but it could really be any opaque black cloth. And blocked out this window. There's daylight back there. So I took that and used some pony clamps and gaff tape to hold it to the window to make it look more like nighttime. The things that I'm struggling with right now are it's, I think, too bright on that wall back there. And I feel like the way to fix that is to take this whole thing and somehow rotate it so that it's kind of facing the camera right here. So the light will be bouncing off and just bouncing it this way, so it keeps the light off that back wall, but keeps it on the people here. So we're gonna make those changes and see how it looks. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that if my talent walks through like they did in the test, like before I set anything up, they block the light source, which I have right here. However, if I do turn this and it works alright, I can move that light to the other side of this wall out of frame. That way he won't be blocking it, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, so I tried to make the changes that I mentioned a little bit ago. I took this, tried to angle it a little bit more, but the main change is I put that light out there. So let me give you a point of reference. Here's our scene. Okay, so I put this reflector board up there and kind of angled it back a little bit, but then I moved this light out here to try to give some more room for talent walking by. However, it's lighting up our scene, like the back of our scene, like crazy. So it's not really doing what I had hoped, and it's kind of hard to hide the light down here in the shot. What I'm going to try is just taking one of these furniture clamps and using a couple pieces of wood so I don't damage the wall here. But then adding it up here, so that's out of the frame, and extending the light out and bouncing it up at that board. So if you have a furniture clamp and you want to mount it onto a wall, like what I'll try doing, what you can get are these baby pin furniture clamp adapters, and really it'll fit onto any kind of pipe that'll fit in that inside that diameter, and you just adjust these wing nut things, the thumb screws, to tighten it down. And so what that does is it allows me to mount a light onto really anything that I can clamp this onto, and it's pretty strong. It'll hold for sure up to a 1K Loa light. I haven't tried anything larger, but for this use with a 500 watt, it'll be great. So I'm going to try that real quick. So moving the light up to the wall didn't really work. Here's why. I got it up on the wall, just out of frame, and it's still got the cinefoil black wrap on it. It's pointing up at the board. However, in order for it to not just spill all over on the wall back there, I had to close down the black wrap. Another issue that I have with it being so close to this and not really shooting up at it anymore, I'm creating this line across the wall back there. Oops, right there. So I don't want that. I want it to be a nice, even transition as if it's coming from an overhead light. So this lighting position doesn't work really for what I want either. All right, I think I finally got the look that I was going for, and it actually was a much simpler setup than I initially had been trying for. So I'll show you right here on this recording. Michael is walking through, and he sits down, and that's basically what I wanted. Just a really low-key setup that had kind of a harsh, but at the same time kind of softened look from above. So I'll show you what I did. I took the C-stand. The brand, it doesn't really matter, but the brand for this is Impact. Took it and have two grip arms basically stretched all the way out, and then a sandbag to counterweight them. And anybody who works with C-stands will know you put the working side of the knuckle on the right. So if the load is out there, the knuckles should be, the part that's going to have tension on them is on the right side, so that as the weight is applied, it'll automatically kind of tighten up those knuckles even more. So then I have this 500 watt Omni just shining right at the ceiling. It's at, I think, about half power. So maybe I could have just used a Pro Light, which is 250 watts. And then I took some black wrap. I probably could have used a little bit more, but I basically just skirted off the wall right there. And but it left enough room on the side so that we have basically a softbox effect bouncing off the ceiling. Another thing that I did, because it is daytime, you come over here, because it's daytime and this is a hutch with reflective panels on it, just propped open the door here a little bit. I used a Twix bar, so you can see how it's propped open a little bit. That's just to get rid of reflections that were over there from the daylight in the window. So I didn't have to block out all the windows, just had to divert the reflection away from that spot. One other thing that I did is the light from the stove here. I liked it, but it seemed a little bit harsh and it was a little bit too bright. So I just added a piece of diffusion taped underneath to cut down the light a little bit and also just make it more even and soft. So back here, that's the only other thing that I did. Let's see if it works from another angle using this same lighting setup. All right, so this is the close-up shot of my talent, Michael. I was designing this scene as if there was going to be a couple of people in it, so this is an over-the-shoulder shot, and basically it's the exact same lighting as the wide shot, nothing changed at all. So the light is overhead, not diffused, and this is basically how it looks. I think it's a little bit harsh, so I wanted to change it to make it look a little bit nicer. So what I did is I took that Omni light up there, and it's now bouncing through this one-stop diffusion, which I have in a C-stand and grip arm. So it's being diffused, and then it's landing on the talent. So that diffusion panel will cut out one stop of light. So even though it does make it softer on Michael, it cuts out the light. So now Michael and the background are actually about the same brightness. And I didn't really want that. I wanted to still look kind of contrasty. So I went ahead and added a double stop net to cut out the light on the background. So this will take out one stop of light, this will take out two. Because I wanted that to cut out the light on the background. And they're both just being held into the same slot on the knuckle. Actually really well, they're staying pretty solidly. So let's go ahead and take a light reading here. The reading on the foreground is 6.8 EV. And we go to the background after we added our double net, we have 5.6 EV, which is negative 1.2 stops, which means that the background is approximately half as bright as the foreground. So I hope that was helpful. Gonna try to do something different next time. I don't know what yet, but if you liked it, leave me a comment or a suggestion for something maybe I could have done better this time that I didn't think of, or a suggestion for what to do next time. Yeah, so thanks for watching.